Hello, beautiful people, and you all are welcome to your favorite program. It's your Sunderland broadcast, and it's another wonderful Sunday for us to have a beautiful and nice conversation. Hope you all are doing great from wherever you are. Please, when you come in, do your best to actually drop a comment so we know where you're watching us from, and do your best to share. Do your best to share to as many people as possible. So we have a good number of people watching. Yeah, today is another Sunday, and we are here, and we'll be having a very smooth and nice conversation. Okay. Oh, Jerry Lo Speaker, I see you. Jerry Lo Speaker, happy birthday once more, brother, and I must appreciate you for the good work you're doing for the Cameroonian artistic entertainment sphere and the domain of communication, especially. Happy birthday, brother, and glad to have you on board. Please, those of you coming in, do your best to share. Today is going to be a very wonderful edition of your program. It's your wonderful and your favorite program, where we have these beautiful discussions and conversations, and where we actually talk about different aspects and different things in life. Victorine Shabiva, I see you. General Speaker says, E Media Empire. Yeah, for sure, brother. Peace and love. Victorine Shabiba, you're welcome. Greetings to you too. Happy Sunday to you and hope you're doing okay. Please, when you come in, let us know where you're watching from so that we can actually give you a warm, special greeting. You know, it's always our pleasure, always our culture in here to celebrate and salute you in a special way. We have Pinky Pretty. Pinky Pretty is really pretty and she is actually a very special person which we always have on the platform. So please, as you come in, do your best to share. Like you all already know, do your best to share to the most people we can. So we have a good number of people watching and we can actually jump deep into this conversation. Today is going to be very interesting because we have it's a very striking topic and it's actually a topic that is very appealing to many people. So do your best to share, so we have as many people as possible following and we can have this conversation in a free and fair manner. Yeah, do your best to share. Do your best to share. Pinky Pretty, I see you guys are complaining about network. Yeah, network. Network is funny. If you're in Cameroon, just know for sure that the network is the way it is. So we are just going to cope with it. But meanwhile, do your best to share. Let's share. It's going to be a wonderful edition today. Like you all already know, we have wonderful guests coming in and we have wonderful speakers. I see one of your favorite people. I know a lot of you miss him so much. He's already backstage. We'll bring him in a bit. Each time he comes in, it's always a different color, and he has some beautiful points. He always speaks out as it is. So before we bring him in, do your best to share to as many people as possible. Oh, Stella Gem, I see you, Stella Hingem. I hope I'm pronouncing it right, Stella Hingem. I see you, and it's glad to have you on board. Good evening to you. Hope you are doing okay. Please, when you come in, let us know where you're watching us from so we can give you a special shout out in a very special way. It is always our it's always a pleasure, it's always our culture to celebrate you all in a very special way because you are really special people. You all are just so special. I just want to use this special opportunity to give shout out to all our faithful followers, those who've been there. Do your best, do your best to actually share, and it's always good having you around. It's always a wonderful moment having you all around. And today is one of those sweet days. The topic of today is very intriguing and it's very it's very interesting at the same time because it's a very technical topic where a lot of people miss out on, and it becomes so complex handling a topic like this. People have different ideologies, people have different thoughts, people have different notions about this particular topic, and a lot of the time people tend to miss it. Some misinterpret, some miss it, some do different they have different, there are different school of thought centered around this. Yeah, the views are climbing. Please keep sharing, keep sharing, keep sharing. Once we get to 10, we're going to drop into the live. Just keep sharing, keep sharing, keep sharing. As you come in, you share. Oh la la, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. Keep sharing, keep sharing, keep sharing. Voila. All right, we're good to go. Let me give this player shout out to Stella Games. You say, yes, sir. We have Anne Marie Nambu. Anne Marie Nambu, glad to have you. Oh, Anne Marie Nambu, it's been a while. Where have you been? I mean, you know, there are some names I'm familiar with, which when I see and I don't see some time, it's actually not cool. Anne Marie Nambu, miss you so much. Hope you're okay. We have Stella Game from Cameroon, CM. Yeah, totally 7 represented. We have Ngong Queen. Oh, Ngong Quinta, Natural Queen. Hope you're doing okay. Hope you're doing okay. Please do your best to share. Please do your best to share so we have as many people as possible watching. We have 5 Violet. 5 Violet, you're very much welcome. Glad to have you. Good evening to you. Ngong Quinta said good morning. Okay, maybe you're watching from USA. Stellangam, always here, sir. All right, yeah. Always glad to have you, Stellangam. Patience, you're for me. Glad to have you. Glad to have you. Hope you're doing good. We have Nisi Chamukong. Happy Sunday to you. Hope you're doing okay. She came back to say good evening. Yeah, Pinky Pretty is a very interesting topic. Still a serious topic for sure. All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, like you all know, my name is Wicom, and today we are having a very interesting conversation. This conversation is centered around it's centered around women empowerment. It's a very technical notion that has influenced our society positively and negatively, and in different angles and aspects of life. And today we have different people coming in that will be giving us an opinion together with you at the comment section. Like you all already know, it is a show where we actually make it interactive and actually handle even your point of view, because it's always there for a free and fair conversation for us all to learn and enlighten ourselves on different given topics. Today we are talking about women empowerment. Is it a myth? Is it was it a necessity or a disguised societal ill? I'm not going to be alone today. We have some beautiful people that are backstage, which we're going to bring them in one after another. Let me give the last shout out and then we'll get going. Tema, you're welcome. We have yeah, share. Keep sharing, ladies, keep sharing, queens, keep sharing, gentlemen. This was a good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. Oh, all right. Okay, great. Now, ladies and gentlemen, like you all know it's your podcast, your conversation platform, where we actually have sweet and interesting conversation with loaded people that have a lot of say and deep insight on certain topics like the one which you're seeing on your screen. Today we have a very special person that has always been there, and is a man that is fully loaded with knowledge, wisdom, and experience when it comes to certain things. Ella Bling, you're welcome. This is not a chef that way. A lot of you have talked about Chef that we asked in the previous edition. Today we have Chef that with us. We are glad because his busy schedule permitted him, and maybe the network too, to be live with us today. Hi, Chef. Good evening.
Bonsoir.
Bonsoir, ni hao. Comment tu vas aujourd'hui, Chef?
Non, très bien. Et toi?
Non, je vais très bien, je vais très bien. Et la journée a été?
Avec
So glad to have you, Chef Dawei. So glad to have you.
The pleasure is all mine. The pleasure is all mine. The discussion I move jacket first.
Confirm. So today, what about get this conversation? The conversation actually be that smooth and flexible, because you know the whole this concept of women empowerment and women emancipation and everything around that get as it be, and it get as a way different people the actual picture of. Now, in the course of the week, I talked with some few people. A couple of them were like, women empowerment destroyed the African home from the 90s. Some brought in the argument that during those periods, we had a lot of women that were taught about certain rights that destroyed their feminine values and their duties as African women. I insist on African women. Now, another school of thought were of the fact that women empowerment actually brought into limelight the values and virtues of a woman, not limiting her to domestic activities, but educating her and giving her certain posts of responsibilities. Like in recent times, we can have women that are chiefs and women that are presidents. Chef Dawei, I want to find out this thing from you. Can you say women empowerment was a necessity, or it has actually caused more harm than good?
Um, we'll start by defining women empowerment. So
Oh, yeah.
I would like to define women empowerment as women's ability to make strategic life choices. Yeah.
Yeah.
So going by that definition,
Yeah.
um, I will say women were empowered by their creator. So
Yeah.
whosoever that came up with that concept of women empowerment was actually out there to weaken women, to take them out from their God-given role and put them in a different kind of world where they would instead become tools or weapons of family destruction.
Yeah.
Um, Women were empowered by Tata Nzambe, that's our creator from creation itself, right?
Mhm.
And talking about empower.
Now, chef's
Can
network.
you hear me, guys?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I think you can fire on.
Um, I don't just start it. Can you hear me, guys? You should indicate in the comment section.
I can hear you. I can hear you. I don't know. Those of you, if you can hear Chef that way, just indicate in the comment section. A couple of you already complained about the network, which is actually a very alarming thing. Yeah, this is the reality of Cameroon. Now, today is very interesting because we're going to have this conversation. And this conversation, I expect each and every one of you, because I know in one way or the other, you all watching a victim of this women empowerment we were talking about. And like you all already know it, it's good enough Chef Dawei took us to the foundation, which is the definition of this whole concept. Now, Chef Dawei, I think your network is stable now. Are you there?
Yes. Okay. Let me write it down. So
All right.
from creation itself, excuse me, viewers. I just started. I was just so excited to get into the topic without greeting you guys. Shout
Yeah.
out to you all, one beautiful family with a lot of natural, beautiful queens. Yeah.
Yeah. Live on the daily, I see you. Live on the daily, I see you. Yeah, Loom Hedira. Yeah, Loom Hedira. Mommy Sky, glad to have you. Gong Chantal, glad to have you. We have equally Odette Gabi. All right, check the way you can write on. Oh, the network is horrible. The network is horrible, and hopefully it gets better. Now, those of you watching could actually define us what women empowerment is in the comment section, and I think we're going to write up from there. This is actually a very entertainment platform where we actually have a whole lot to talk about. We have a whole lot to talk about. Yeah, please, someone can drop the definition for us in the comment section, because when we talk about women empowerment, someone could kindly help us with definition in the comment section. Yeah, network is very interesting. This part of Africa where we find ourselves is a very interesting part. And part of the things that make it quite interesting, we have the electricity supply, we have the political system, we have the internet. I don't just want to mention internet because you just get fed up. And then we have our water. They took their time to teach us all the characteristics of bad water and then finally end up giving us the bad water. So you will just bear with us. Some of our guests that are having these network issues, you just bear with us and we are going to actually get going. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Live on the Daily. Live on the Daily says, this is a definition by Google. Thank you so much. He says, the process, please, those of you watching, do your best to actually follow some of our guests. Anybody that comes in here, these are people that are very equipped and loaded with very interesting insight on given topics. Life on the Daily says, this is a definition by Google. The process by which women gain power to make choices and control their lives and to influence social change. It's a fundamental human right that's key to creating a more peaceful and prosperous world. Now, I really have a whole lot to talk about as far as this is concerned. If you look at it, the definition has some key aspects which we are going to highlight. I want us to talk about these things. We have the first one, which is the power to make choices. Don't bother. We have a whole lot of people that will be coming in today. There are different guests that will be gracing us. I'm receiving their messages already. Aside from Chef, there are others that are coming in that will be gracing us today. This definition has, we have the power to make choices, we have, and to control their lives, and then we have, it's a fundamental human right that's key to creating more peaceful and prosperous world. All right, that's interesting. Now this one says right on, sir. Good evening, Hida Jiso. You're very much welcome. Hey, Safe Severin, glad to have you. Hope you're doing okay. We are still on game. You are right on point. We are calling Anya Bright. Good evening to you. Yeah, that work is quite interesting. Oh, Brianna there, Natural Queen. Good greetings to you. Chef Dawei, are you there? All right. It looks like Chef Dawei is struggling to connect.
Can you hear me? I'm back.
All right. Okay. We can hear you now. I don't know if you can hear me as well.
I have a lot to say. Yeah, I can hear you, bro. I can hear you. I don't know without the camera if it's better now.
Yeah, I can hear your sound 5 on 5. I think without the camera, we are still to go. Well, I think what is most important is the facts you're spitting. So I think you can write on even with audio.
Yes. We have to know there are two types of empowerment out there. The empowerment that is coming from your creator as a woman, and the empowerment that is coming from the snakes, that's the serpent. And this kind of empowerment that is coming from the snakes or the serpent started with our great grandmother Eve in the Garden of Eden. Eat from the tree of life, you become equal or greater than God. Yes, that was the first woman who actually got empowered in this sense of empowerment we're here to discuss today. And after she got empowered, what was the outcome? The man, Adam, was actually driven, he was driven out of his Garden of Eden.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happens when women go by the empowerment that comes from the serpents. I use serpent, but in local appellants we can or parlance we can say Oyibo or Sarah or Moncala. Yes, let's better use Moncala for the purpose of this live.
Yeah.
Yes. So when they came into the Kruger Garden. The Kruger Garden.
All right. Network is quite interesting on his side. And Chef Dawei happens to have a lot of interesting things to talk about as far as this is concerned. Now let me take Odette Gabi. Odette Gabi, glad to have you, Odette. Glad to have you on board. She says, "Women empowerment is a process of increasing the social, economic, political, legal strength of a woman, ensuring they have equal access to opportunity and resources." So if you look at this, it means it goes in line with equality. It goes in line with equality with men. So if you look at it, is it right to say women empowerment is some sort of bringing some sort of equality between man and woman? Is that correct to say that way? And I want to find out something from you. Please, those of you coming, do your best to share. Do your best to share on WhatsApp, share on Facebook, share on Messenger, share everywhere shareable, so we can have as many people as possible, so we can have a free, fair, and sweet conversation. If you look at all of this, if you see woman, was woman first of all down? Because listen to what Chef Dawe has to say. I understand that the woman, if we have to empower somebody, the person should be less of, the person should have something lesser before they are empowered to meet up a certain level. So we're empowering women to become what? What are we empowering women to become? Are we empowering them to become like men? Are we empowering them to what is the whole concept behind empowerment? And like I already told you, people, we have wonderful people who will be gracing us with different ideas and notions. Today we have another wonderful person that's live on a daily. We'll be adding her in a bit. Let me take these few comments. We have Elali Lenyo. Elali Lenyo, natural queen. You're very much welcome. She says, Atoe salute. Yeah, we catch the salute. Elali Lenyo. We catch the salute well. Emeka C Comedy. Emeka C Comedy. This is one of the wonderful participants of the Laughter Extravaganza Challenge. Emeka C, hope you're doing okay. Hope you're doing okay. Yeah, this is a wonderful person as well. This is Victoria Shaviva. Now let me take this comment. This other one says, empowering women is essential to the health and social development of families, communities, and countries. When women are living safe, fulfilled, and productive lives, they can reach their full potential. All right, this is good one from Chang Claudia da Silva. And we have Candice, who says, greetings, big bosses. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome back Chef Dawe, and let's welcome another wonderful person. This is Live on a Daily. Please go right now and follow Live on a Daily. You don't need to follow from here. Check Facebook and search. After this live, go and follow. Hi, Chef Dawe, are you there?
Yeah.
Hello.
All right. Live on the Daily, you're very much welcome.
Thank you.
And glad to have you.
I'm going to be off camera. All my going to be off for what you need.
Oh, it looks like your network too isn't the best, eh? Live on the Daily, can you hear?
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear. I can hear. Can you guys hear?
All right, we can hear you. No, it's cracking. It's tripping.
Oh my god.
Now, Chef Dawe, I think you can fire on. I think you can fire on from where you stop. I know that the network is is funny, but what you were saying was making a whole lot of sense as always. Anyway, so
Yeah,
please
I'll start with Chan Claudia's comment that empowering women is essential to the
yeah, let me
health
put
and
it.
development of families, communities, and countries. When women are living safe, fulfilled, and productive lives, they can reach their full potential. Yeah, that's the gospel truth. You're right on point. And that empowerment of women, I think from default, women were empowered by their creator. It's just like a car. You're buying a car coming from the manufacturer, and then you think that car is not fully empowered, and now you need to take that car to the garage to meet a local mechanic, hoping
Yeah,
you're hoping that that mechanic can truly empower that car. What the mechanic will do is the mechanic will lose all parts and stuff, and that will in fact try to reduce the quality and power of that car. That's the same thing that happens with women empowerment. The creator did a finished job, and he looked at everything that he created and saw that they were good. Everything he created was good. So women were fully empowered, and with that ability to be the mothers of the nation, to be the pillars, the firm pillar on which society will sit firmly, to be that neck that the head will fit and work accurately. Women were fully empowered to be the accountants of the family, to be the managers, to be the nurses, to be the prayer warriors and everything. Women were empowered from creation, but now we're talking about Munkala and their message.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's go by what they mean women empowerment.
Um, Chef, the way if we talk Mukala, we might miss it with the other ones we have here. I
No,
think the
not the
Mukala,
one.
yeah,
Just for the sake for the video,
yeah, yeah.
we don't want
We can say
Facebook.
Oyibo, maybe Oyibo, or yeah, I don't
Okay,
know.
yeah,
I think oh, you
let's
both
use
It to
nice.
be that direct, for it to be that direct, I wanted to touch the right people. Now,
Yeah, yeah, so you
yeah,
are.
before we go, I just want us to add one person so we'll continue the conversation. Hi, team. Hope you're doing okay,
Yeah, yeah, I'm all right, man.
and you're very
How
much
far?
welcome. I'm so okay. I'm okay. Hope you too.
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm all right.
All right, Chef.
Chef Dawei, great to meet you, man.
All right, I think Chef Dawei can ride on. I don't know if Chef Dawei is there. All right, no problem. Now we're just struggling to actually balance this up. We have today's going to be wonderful because we have amazing people coming in. We equally have another person that you all know who's going to be backstage. Now, while waiting for Chef Dawei to connect, because the connection isn't the best. Now, team, we are already been at the point of establishing the connection and definition of what women empowerment is. Now, with your knowledge on women empowerment, I want to find out from you, do you think women empowerment was a necessity?
Well, I think initially the intent was great,
Yeah.
but looking at the way it's been and
Yeah.
the way it has been so far, I can confidently say it has been abused by the
Yes.
said subjects. In
Who are
all
the,
honesty,
who are the said subject, please?
the women,
All right, so it has been abused by women.
yes, the same people that the empowerment was for, has abused the privilege. And we
All
can
right.
all see it in almost every sector of the society. It's a clear sight.
All right, awesome. Now, let's put Chef Dawei again. I just want Chef Dawei to drop so well before we come back to this other part of the conversation. Chef Dawei, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
The
Yeah,
connection is funny. So when we have the chance to have you speak, I think you just drop the bomb so we can continue the conversation. I think you can ride on from here.
yeah. So what Oyibo calls what they'll call women empowerment, I would like
Yeah.
to call a total distortion of an African society. I would like
All
to
right.
call that. I would like to term that the distortion of the African society. Yeah,
Yes.
African women were career women before they came up with the concept of women empowerment.
Yes.
African women were educated before they came up with the concept of women emancipation. We still have
Yeah.
our grandmothers in the village cooking shop. That's them doing the process of fermentation. Something these kids of today, they go to school, they do biochemistry and stuff. There's nothing that they can produce like what those grandmothers in the village do. What they call education, our
The network is very interesting. All right. We have another very interesting person that's backstage. I think it's time we bring him in. That's no other than Son of Light. Hi, Son of Light. How are you doing today?
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Winkle. Thank you. I can see Mr. Team. I can see Chef Dawa is really having a tough time there
The
with our
network.
network.
Yeah. The network.
So can you hear me very well?
Yeah, I can hear you. I don't know if you can hear Son of Light. Please just drop on the comment section so we can hear you. So we know you are hearing us. Well, for me, I can hear. I have a sound system, so I can hear smoothly.
Mr.
If you can
Team,
hear us, you can just drop in the comment section so we know. Yeah. So you're very much welcome, Son of Light. Glad to have you. Now, I want to find out from you still. To you, what will you point out as women empowerment? How can you define women empowerment from your own perspective?
okay. Just 1 second. As I talk away the please. Okay. Can you hear
Yeah.
me now?
We can hear you fine. I think even some comment, a comment came in. She says, "Son of Light, I can hear you live." All right. I think you could find around. We can hear you.
Okay. Actually, the word women empowerment, when we say women empowerment, the first thing that comes to our mind, or the first thing that comes to the mind of somebody who thinks deep, will understand that it is a foreign concept.
Yeah.
It is a foreign concept because you empower something that you have destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the word empowerment means you are adding power or something that you must have destroyed, and you are trying to, let's say, rekindle. You are bringing it. You say you want to bring it to a certain level. Now, the inclusion of the word woman, a gender that happens to be um, a particular individual who
Yeah.
has the capacity to create another human being. So, the topic looks like simple, but it is wide because in the course of us discussing about the empowerment, we should try and we should try first and foremost to first of all define who is a woman in the African context, because women empowerment where in the African context or women empowerment in the world at large. If we are talking about women empowerment in the world at large, we are not going to finish today. So I want to believe that we're talking about women empowerment in the African context. Let us have a scope.
Yeah. I think we can go with that. Son of Light.
Okay. A while ago, I heard Mr. Tim was talking about women empowerment has really been they themselves have destroyed everything. Is that what you said, Mr. Tim? Hello, Mr.
Tim,
Tim.
Tim, can you hear? Tim, are you there? All right. His network is also very interesting. So I think you
Okay.
just find out.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so he said he said the women themselves have already destroyed everything. Now, the truth is, in the African society of present day,
Yeah.
or sometimes you begin to ask yourself, what is happening with our women? And
Yeah.
when you ask this kind of questions, it's because of what we are seeing now with what our young girls are doing in the name of civilization.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if we are going to be empowering these particular women, the question comes now is in what direction are we empowering them and how were they before and how are they now before we start talking about empowerment?
Yeah.
Okay. If we try to build this as a foundation of our discussion, talking about the empowerment of the African woman. We are going to get to talk about where they were or how they were before and how they are now. And if we are going to be talking about the women, the African women, how they were in the past, we are going to be talking about our mothers. So in this, we are going to be entering into their culture, their way of life, their existence, their reasoning, and how they carried out their engagements at that time and how they are carrying on their engagements now.
Yeah.
Okay. We find ourselves in an African society nowadays that the average African girl believes that she must live a life, a Europeanized life before she is regarded as a woman.
Yeah.
Okay. If you listen to people like, if you listen to people like Fela of Nigeria, you know, there's a song he sang. He said, if you call an African lady a woman, she's going to refuse. She's going to say she's not a woman. She's going to say she's a lady. She's going to say she's a lady because the name woman has been given a different interpretation to the African dictionary. I will explain. Before the coming of these guys in our land, we had a well-formed woman that respected herself, understood societal values, understood the sacredness of of what she represents. Now, when they came and they introduced a concept of this gender equality. You know, you two have to belong here. You two have to be in the office. You two have to do this, and you know, all those things don't have any problem. But I think the problem all lies in the fact of the interpretation of everything that they gave. Before they could come, the African girl child had a certain decorum that when you see a woman, you know this is a woman. The way she speaks, the way she dresses up, the way she compocts herself, the values she represents, the sacredness of her identity. But when they came and they introduced whatever thing they introduced in their several or different institutions, you discover that these women, it metamorphosed the mindset of this girl. And because of that, they began to behave in a certain way that I myself, I cannot fathom, I cannot really place my hands on. Nowadays, now we see a girl child that understands that for her to be a woman, she has to just make up for her. Nowadays, I tell people nowadays, in 5 to 10 years to come, when you come to Facebook is going to be something like porn perfect. I'm serious about it.
Now, sort of like there's a little issue with your sound. I don't know if you guys are hearing clearly. I don't know because I can hear. I have a sound system. I use speakers. Please, if you're following the conversation and you can hear some of like, please indicate in the comment section, please.
Oh, are they getting me?
Yeah, I can hear you 515.
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
All right, yeah, son of light, you can fire on. You can fire on. Maybe it's their network.
Those in the comment section. You know, we are not just talking. We are talking for people to. We are exchanging ideas. So we should establish that people in the comment section are also listening to us.
Yeah, exactly. Please, those of you watching, if you can hear Son of Light, just drop a comment, please, so we know you can hear what he's saying. The essence is actually getting the point of every speaker here and getting resonating with what they have to say. Please, if you can hear, just drop a comment. Drop a comment so we can actually ride on. You know. All right. Can you hear Son of Light? Elali Lenyo, can you hear Son of Light? Please just drop a comment. Let's know you are hearing and then we fire on. Yeah. Oh,
Can they hear me? Can they hear me? Whether my microphone or matter
but
I check matter check my microphone too.
I think if I hear you and Chef Dawe hears you, then definitely the other people can hear you because we are using different devices. So to me,
Okay.
you can write.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah, and Tim
Okay.
too can hear you. So that's fair enough.
Okay. So let's continue. So like what I was saying, I said so we find ourselves in a situation where the African girl child no longer
Yeah.
understand the powers and the sacredness that it possesses. So
Mhm.
we see that the girl child now regards what is not supposed to be regarded as useful and what is supposed to be useful, she now regards this as useful. So, so if you follow what I'm trying to say is the meaning or the definition of
Quote the
womanhood
Bible.
has been
Okay.
revised, and that is where we find ourselves now. And because of that, we see that a lot of things in society are changing. So
Mhm.
let me pause there and let another person carry on because you
All
are
right. I
changing
think
ideas. Yeah.
I'll prefer Chef Dawe to land. We have another speaker backstage. I would like Chef Dawe to land. Chef Dawe was already firing on. The network had to put him on pause. So Chef Dawe,
Yeah,
please, you can write.
the network na wahala today. So good evening, Son of Light. Good evening, Sim. Yeah, let's
Thank you
write.
so much, Mr. Shamdawi.
Yes.
Thank you so
So
much.
can you pin Elali's comment?
All right,
Because
this
I
one is.
think
I
that
think
the
there must
most
have. All right, I think there must have been something that provoked the concept of this gender equality. Many African traditions, beliefs, and culture were very biased to women. All right, Chef Dawe.
okay. I really want for us to follow this conversation. Yeah, not like exactly from my perspective
Mm-hmm. Oh, the network is very
for
interesting.
this again. So I would like to put this question to Elali. Like I said before, women empowerment,
This is the beautiful part of our lovely nation,
and
and
the serpent Oyibo, they came and they told her, if you eat from this fruit, you'll be as equal, you'll be like God. What that's actually the beginning of all of this. Eve was the first woman to be empowered, right? I think at that point there was nothing like bias. It's just a message that sounds so appealing to women. It's a message. It's a kind of message that women love to hear. Like you can be greater, you can be equal, you can be more beautiful. It's the same message. The serpents have been very consistent with their message. If you eat from this, or if you do this, or if you become empowered, you become equal with the man. And that's you abandoning your natural and God given role and responsibility to start rubbing soldier with men. The same thing that happened in the Garden of Eden. They met Africa. Africans were natural people, natural living people, and super wise. Now,
yeah,
these Oyibo people, they are actually unnatural people. Unnatural example, the sun is against them. They only adapted to the sun. They learn how to live under the sun. They are like vampires. They are like vampires. Initially, you have some vampires who cannot live under the sun, but you have those old and ancient vampires who have mastered and tried to camouflage. They can now start living under the sun. So naturally, nature is against them. So they became smart in order to live. And for them to live, they had to come and destroy the natural setting of the natural and wise people who were Africans. A wise person is that person who knows how to avoid problems. Why a smart person, he knows how to solve problems. Then there is an intelligent person. These smart people, they came to Africa. The first thing they had to do was to create problems. They had to create problems in order to start creating solutions to these problems, in order
Yeah.
for them to have a life, to have life. They came, they distorted Africa by first, they always know the woman is the weaker link where they'll target easily, and they know they cannot conquer African kings directly like that. They know without help from women, they cannot conquer African kings. Just
Yeah.
like just like Adam. How long do you think it took for Adam to name all the animals? How long do you think it took for him to name the plants, the fishes, the birds, and everything that is named?
Yeah.
During this, do you think the serpent, that snake, was not there tempting him to eat from that fruit? But the serpent could not. He could not get Adam to disobey the higher authority, which is our creator. So it's the same thing with the lives of African kings. They cannot easily conquer us, colonize us, or enslave us without first destroying or capturing the African queens. So just the same is the same message. Nothing has changed. They started with Eve, and they knew that only Eve can bring Adam down. And once they got hold of Eve, Eve actually brought Adam down, and Adam was actually driven out of his garden of Eden. Now we'll fast forward to the time of our ancestors. We'll fast forward to the time of our ancestors. They had a super kind of community, I want to term the wise man way of life, living with nature, living harmoniously with nature. They were so much structured that they knew, like, okay, in order to destroy Africa, they have to start from the basic unit, that basic and the most important unit of society, which is family. And for them to destroy family, they had to come to the woman with the same message. The message is so appealing to her. If you become empowered the way we want, you become equal. You become equal to the man. Yeah, you'll be able to go out there. The first created terms. They created terms like housewife. Now, like they make those terms to be derogatory.
Thank you.
They made them such that it will sound so bizarre, like you're just there, you're actually a housewife. And whereas you can be out there doing the same thing that a man can do. So it sounded right to our queens, just the same way it sounded right to Eve, and they fell for it. And the serpent, they will not end at just that. They'll continue. They came again, they told our queens, if you cut off your natural hair, if you don't have that time, since you have a career, you need to focus on career. Money is the most important thing. Focus on career and money. And now you don't even have time to grow and cater or take care of your own self. You cannot grow your own hair. We have a solution for you. We can just go behind the scene. We can go to Indian temples. We get Indians to sacrifice their hair to their deities, their temples. Then there'll be Chinese behind the temples to buy those hair. They transform them into wigs, human hairs, and stuff like that. And African woman, if you wear wig, you become more beautiful. If you wear bone straight hair, you become more beautiful. So you see the consistency of the serpent. They are pretty much consistent with their message, and the target, in order for Africans to be destroyed, is always the woman. And whatever concept they come up with, be it BBL, Brazilian butt lifting, be whatever concept they
Yeah, yeah. This is Chef is firing on, and the network is saying you should have to pause. So at this point,
Comfortable switching their positions and become a sub a lower version of themselves. Look at what is happening today. The effect of women empowerment when we are talking from the Sepans or a Oyibo's perspective, point of view. Our women these days, boreholes have been dug between their legs. Our women these days are slave queens. Our women these days are moving incubators of STDs, that are sexually transmitted diseases, and STDs like sexually transmitted demons. Our women these days, they are everything but not themselves. They are wannabe Indians, they are wannabe Peruvians, just like Fela, in his wisdom and of blessed memory, he said, if you call an African woman, woman, if you call her queen, if you call her queen, she go say
she
she know
no
the
go
queen.
gree.
She go
She
tell
go say.
you, she be baddie. And back then, in those days of Fela, the word they would rather go with was lady. But as time went on, the definitions and appellations of our women kept increasing. And today we are actually at the Gen Z. Gen Z, which is Generation Z. Z is actually Z or Z, depending if you're American or British, is actually the last letter of the alphabet, which implies we are actually at the end, Generation Z. So our queens our queens today, they are Gen Z baddies, they are officers, they are Jajana boss, all those names, all those names. So they have career, they have money, they have that, they have career, they have money, and money is the only thing they can avail for their kids. They
All
pay
right.
school fees, they pay school fees for teachers to do training for their kids. And that teacher who is training your kid, you don't know who or what principles or stuff they are actually made of. At the end of the day, we have a society with kids with zero upbringing, no moral principles, and nothing that has been passed down from parents to children. And that's because the serpent that came, that distorted the original African society. That's probably
All right. Chef was making a lot of sense, and I think at this point I will just try
now they
to.
have to start creating solution. You
All
you
right.
you have our queens will start having sex at a very tender age. Though these serpents they give these serpents they give a legal age, and that legal age in some African countries can be 16, it can be 18.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Chef. I think at this point I'm going to add two more people that are backstage, and they're going to give us some more light.
They'll create solution. They'll try to create some solutions to these problems. Solutions like they start creating abortion pills for you. When you go, you get your life messed up. You're pregnant. You can just go for the abortion pill, and that's how unnatural people they feed. They make a life because they are smart and they're making a life by distorting the natural setting of the wise people, the wise and the natural people. After the distortion, they start creating things, products through their pharmaceutical companies. And now you have condoms you buy to enrich them in order for you to have safe sex. When you pick stuff like Ngono and the rest, you have other shots. You have shots or inoculations, things you go take from their pharmaceutical companies to treat yourself. So they knew that the African woman is super strong. The African
Yep.
woman who was empowered by the creator can be the only one to bring down African queens. So they came up with
All
all
right.
these concepts. They came up with all of these things, and they finally broke down the African society through the woman. Then they came with colonial, with the enslavement and all of those. So
All
I'm
right.
done.
Okay, thank you so much, Chef. That was a great insight and a
Welcome,
good
Coach
briefing
Bonita.
of
Welcome on board, Coach B.
18. Yeah.
Thank
Now,
you,
like you all
General.
notice, we have your favorite Coach B, always glowing, and we have Lance Pearl, always
Hi.
with some
Hi,
sweet,
General.
street wisdom. Hi, Coach B. Hi, Lance Pearl. Hope you all are doing good.
Hi, welcome.
Wonderful.
All right.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, good. Chef Dawei, Son of Light and team have done some establishment on the whole concept of women empowerment. And at one point, it was like just gentlemen talking here. That is why when I saw Coach B, I was like, wow, we have a woman here to actually give us another insight. You know, from a masculine point of view, it looks quite different when we're talking about women empowerment, and from a feminine point of view, it looks different too because
No,
if you have,
bro, I'm not cutting you short.
yeah,
We're talking from different insights.
all right,
I for one, before I got to where I am right now, I used to be an advocate for women empowerment in the light of Oyibo, the way they look at it. I used to be, but now I'm talking from a different kind of revelation. So I believe we're building up and adding opinions, and all of us will get to a level plane.
all right, that's clear enough. Okay, now Coach, what I want to find out from you is what is your standpoint and what is your say as far as women empowerment is concerned? Is it a necessity or is it a disguised ill like many people think, or is it a dark agenda? Let me put it that way. What is your standpoint?
Okay. I think again, empowerment is what it is, just from the word. The word empowerment means you having the ability to help yourself. So empowerment is not giving you strength to take care of someone else, but first of all, take care of yourself first and then others. So again, when I look at the origin of empowerment or women empowerment, think about the 1800s, and this was because women were not involved in the termination of slavery convention, like the conversation that came before the end of slavery. Women were not involved in that conversation.
Yeah,
However, women were impacted by slavery. Now, why are they not involved in that conversation? Every man and every woman who was part of slavery was born of a woman.
yeah,
So if we have to have conversations about slavery, everyone needs to be in the room. And it's the same thing about the term feminism. Why did they start talking about feminism in the first place? It's because male psychologists started talking about a woman's psychology in the absence of a woman. How can you talk about things that affect a woman personally, socially, economically, politically, and otherwise without the woman in the room? How do you even understand it from the woman's perspective? So, the
okay,
fact that we have used that concept in a different way, I think the way women empowerment is understood in Africa is different from the way it's understood in the West. So life is so tough. We're looking for people to be able to combine resources, be stronger as a unit than just depending on one person. And that's where this concept is born. It's about the woman also being involved in growing not just the home, but also growing the economy and not being that person who will be shifted to the back. If we are making decisions about schools, the woman can also say something about schools because the children who go to schools are born of women. If we're making decisions about hospitals, women can also have their voice. If we're making decisions about healthcare, women can also say something. If we're making decisions about politics, women can also contribute because whoever, be it a male or a female leader, is born of a woman. And so it's very important that women are also involved in these conversations and that they are strengthened. I don't want to use the word empowered to describe empowerment, because it's about strengthening someone's personal potential to be able to strengthen other people. And take, for example, if you maybe got married to a woman who has not gone to school, does not have the exposure that is needed. Every time your child comes back home with some homework, how do you help that child? You're out there doing all the work by yourself. You've gotten all the education by yourself. You work day and night, and then the woman cannot support maybe just doing the homework that the kid brought back from school. So this empowerment has been just one hand shaking another hand. That's what I look at it.
All right. Thank you so much, Coach B. I think I'll take one comment and then I get a point of view of Life as well. Life on the Daily says, I think women empowerment is a necessity. It's not a bad thing to educate a woman to be self-independent and self-worth. Even though some women are abusing, most women are really making good use of it. Lifespell, can you tell us also what your notion about women empowerment is? What do you think? Is it a necessary concept or is it a disguised evil agenda?
Thank you for trusting me the floor once more. I want to begin by saying that I admire the history foundation, the historical foundation laid down by Coach B. It was wonderful. It made us to understand a lot of things about the genesis of women empowerment and the reasons and all. But I would like to begin my reasoning. You know, I am a spiritual man, as I always say, and in the Word of God there is life, there is science. It's just that most of us we just look at the Bible as a Sunday book, and we don't put it into reasoning. If we put it into reasoning, we will have more of it. The Word of God says that man's wisdom is looked upon as foolishness to God, and God's own foolishness is wisdom unto men. God was not, I don't want to say foolish, or he did not make a mistake. God is not foolish. God did not make a mistake to create male and female alike. We cannot talk about gender equality without talking about Genesis in the Bible. In Genesis chapter 1, verse 26, God said, let us create man in our own image. Let us create them alike, male and female alike. That was before he came in chapter 3 and created man from dust and breathed air into his nostrils, and the dust became a living being. And later I know in our society we always say that the woman is from the rib of man. It means that man has uneven ribs on both sides. No, it's because us who did biology, who did not run away from biology, we understand that in the chromosomes, the sexual chromosomes of a man, we have a woman and a man, that we have an X and a Y chromosome. But in the woman, we only have the X chromosomes, the XX. It means that a woman could not give forth a man. It was only from the man that a woman could come. They could take an X from the man, and make a woman with just the X. And they could take both from the man and make a man, an XY. That is why God, the rib he was taking from us was the Y chromosome, the X chromosomes to make a woman. And it is not because the woman came from a spiritual background that it means that the woman is weak. No.
Yeah.
Back in economics, we have what we call division of labor. Division of labor. You both understand with me that if you get a car and you don't have a brake in the car, you are going to hit so bad when you start your car. But believe me, the brakes is not the parts that you use most when you're driving. Mr. Wickham,
Yeah. Yeah.
you can drive from Puma to Douala and you use
Yeah.
your brakes only maybe 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
But will the brake begin to develop a concept of parts or mechanical equality that we should be using ourselves equally?
Yeah.
You understand? You
Okay.
understand where I'm going to?
Yeah.
This is because women came into the world, and at a certain point of time, women begin to forget their place in the world. And the woman who is like the brake, who is not used often or who is used to a certain proportion, wants to
Yeah.
begin to take the place of the tires or of the engine. I want to pull the car. I want to drive the car. I want
Yeah.
to change the gears. I want to be the gearbox. And when you have a society or you have a locomotive that there is a part that is not behaving as it was programmed to behave, there is a certain form
Malfunction.
or sort of malfunctioning that begins. So to me, gender equality
God bless you,
is
lifespan.
a
God
is a
bless you. You
good
don't talk at all.
is a good is a good idea if
Yeah.
if we stay in the light where Coach B was saying that women were to be seen, women were to be considered, women were to be educated, women were to 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 contribute in medicine, in nursing, in teaching, in every other field of life. Women could contribute. But
Yeah.
today, the world is making gender equality to take the woman out of her original function. And that
Now.
is why today, let me run, let me finish with this, Mr. Wickham.
All
That
right.
is
Sure.
why today, in Africa, in most families, where the mother or the woman is not in her place of duty, we have children who lack respect. In our
Yeah.
days, I remember somebody's father that we don't even know. A father just like that can punish you for misbehaving on the street, and he will take you to your house and he will flock you with plus your parents also will flock you. But today, can you touch someone's child? Going back to our secondary schools, they don't longer discipline, and all of this is because the role of the woman, who is a disguised head of the family because she is under the mission of the man. Without the man does not cannot run effectively his mission. And so you will find yourself having a society that is broken down because the home lacks a mother to guide the children, and the society end up finding himself with children all in the name of
All right.
gender equality. So that
All
is
right.
my point of view.
Now this is really superb. I want us to establish some points so we actually get into this logically and fair enough. Now these are some of the points which I want us to establish. If you notice in the conversation of each and every one of us and everyone talking here, you will notice that we are talking about the role of a woman, the original role of a woman, why a woman was created, and role. Please, Chef Dawe, I don't know if you can hear me, if you're active. I want to get from your perspective and maybe Coach B. if Chef Dawa is not there, then I think Last Spell will help us and Coach B as well. Because we are standing on different angles, which I want us to have this understanding and understanding a direction which is suitable, because it's not everything that is done that is actually correct, and it's not because everyone does
Can you hear me,
something
guys? Can
correct.
you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Chef Dawe. Now, this is what I wanted to ask her. What is actually the role of this woman? When we talk about the woman is not in a role, we want to function in another role and function a role. What is actually the role, and from what basis are we talking like from what standpoint are we using to determine the role of a woman? Please, Chef Dawe, can you help us with this?
Yeah. The family unit, like I always put it, is the most important unit of society, right? Is
Yeah.
like the grassroots, like where everything begins. So if you have a firm foundation, if you have that solid foundation, definitely the house will stand. I have a friend who always say, it is okay for you to build your castle in the air so long as you put a foundation under it to support it. So for any society out there to stand and be strong, that there's bound to build that foundation, which is the family unit. So given in that light, I would like to say the role of a woman was actually the most important because she was there to to build that family unit. Yeah, a man was supposed to build a house, and a woman is supposed to transform that house into a home. She's the one that knows how to do her thing, her magic, her chemistry, whatsoever. It takes a great deal of education for someone to be able to do that, to put a family together, to build, to transform an ordinary house into a welcoming and warm home. Yeah, it takes a lot to do that. So a woman's role was that of the mother of the nation, the mother of the society. She is that firm pillar, that very strong pillar on which moral principles and everything that gets transferred from one generation to the next.
Oh, the network is quite interesting, no? Now let me take this comment. This comment was going to lead us to another point. Say, Life on Daily says economic participation. Women should be able to participate and benefit from decent work and social protection. There are so many who will still have good jobs and still take good care of her kids and family. This is one, and this one says Chef that way on point. Now, Chef that way, are you there? Can you still hear me? All right. Now, Coach B, life of this is we should not talk as if the woman's place should remain in the kitchen. Okay. Now, Coach B, I want to find out from you, from your perspective, what do you think is the role of a woman? I mean, from its original state.
I don't think a woman should assume any other role outside being a helper. The
Okay.
woman is a helper, and help is very, very, very broad. When I say help is broad, a woman
Coach
can
B,
help a man. Can you hear me?
I
Coach
can
B,
hear you.
A woman is a helper. A woman can help a man achieve his vision. A woman can help turn a house into a home. A woman can help unite a community. A woman can help provide for the family. That is even when the man needs some of that help. The woman was created as a helper, and she is a very good helper. If a woman is given the platform to help, they do a great job helping.
Coach B, permit me to add to maybe give you some light into your point.
Yeah.
The Bible says, Jesus said that you cannot help somebody with what you don't have.
Right.
Mhm.
So for a woman to help you as a man, it does not mean that she does not have. She should have. If a woman should help you with love, it means that she should have love in her. If she should help you with money, it means that she should have money before giving yours. So it's just a point to add to the fact you said the woman is a helper.
Exactly.
All right.
Great point.
Okay. It means the woman's initial, she's a helper. She should not be at the forefront, right?
The woman is a helper.
Mr. Wickham,
So
Mr.
there are
Wickham,
times when, don't get me wrong, there are times when a woman will be in the front. Take, for example, you have a spouse, and God
Yeah.
forbid, you get into an unfortunate accident and you cannot walk. Who becomes the foreman?
Mhm.
Who becomes the
Uh,
foreman?
It's a woman actually. There are many women in that state actually, and they're running the homes.
Yeah, there are so many women today who are the foremen. They are the ones going ahead. They are the ones leading. It doesn't change the fact that the man is the leader. That's why I said a woman is an excellent helper. If she's given the platform to help, if she has the means, to Life Spell's point, if she has the means to help, if she's healthy and can help, she will definitely step in. A woman
Oh,
is a natural nurturer and a natural fixer. So if there's a time when a man cannot play his role, automatically by default, you would notice that most women would tune in and want to start running things. But it takes a woman that has, again, huge emotional intelligence to know when to start, where to stop.
now
So that's why we need to give them the opportunity, provide the platform, educate them to know where to start and where to end. The reason why most women are abusing the power that is, again, every human, most humans abuse power when they have it, again, for different reasons, because you might give someone power today, and because they know what they will benefit from that power, they use it the wrong way. I'm sorry, I have someone at the door. I'll be back.
all right, okay, no problem. Now, Tim, good enough you're here. Tim, can you hear me? Tim, can you hear me? Oh, I wish Tim could actually shoot us some.
Yeah, I can hear you. There's a network, but
All
for
right.
now I can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Let me take this comment. Good enough. We have Chef that way equally. It says, I swear, Life Spell. That's how they are making things difficult for us teachers. I left school because some of us of this serpent's agenda of children shouldn't be given hard punishment in school. In that school, you can't even ask a child to kneel down. A student will eat in class at any time unapologetically. They will disrespect teachers. If you try to discipline them, the parents will come and tell you your problem, including those of your family members. All right, this is a painful thing happening. You know, we are gradually losing the discipline aspect of our culture.
Elali, Nenya, my regards to you.
All right. Yeah. Now, Tim, please give us your opinion about this woman empowerment thing. Was it to your opinion, was it a necessity, or was it a disguise scheme? Or in other words, what are your thoughts about this whole concept of women empowerment?
All right, thank you very much. Like I said initially, the intention was good, but it has been abused because, of course, women are emotional beings, so they hardly process things logically. Yes.
Yeah.
So I just heard Coach. I think Coach. I don't know her name. She said something about. All right, Coach B. She said something about women will be logical when being empowered. I don't
Yeah.
think that's correct because women do not reason with logic. They always use emotions. That is why something can be glowy or promising to a woman, but when it gets to her hands, she will misuse it and she will not know why she does that. Well, because emotions has no intelligence whatsoever. And Coach B said something about women having emotional intelligence. I don't think that's a fact. Emotional intelligence
Connection
is
to
not
the
for
Lord.
women. It's just a handful of women that you can talk about emotional intelligence and talk about them. It's not a woman's thing. They are not. They are almost incapable of possessing that. Like I said, only a handful.
Tim, I want to say something. I want to ask you a question. Why do you think women are not capable of doing that? Like, how can you base the fact? Because we know there are women watching, and is it something scientifically proven? Is it something psychologically proven? Like, I want to understand from what standpoint.
Psychologically, brother, psychologically, women are not logical beings. Women are emotional beings, which means they do not use logic to reason. Like you may have a good plan for a woman, she may have a good plan for herself, but she will not be able to help herself because emotions always come to play. All right, when you talk about, I heard could be saying something like a woman is a helper and that she knows some few people, or perhaps, let me just, to be safe, let me just say she said she knows someone that helps out in the house. Yeah, that's a woman. There are always exceptions. But again, they will not do it. A woman is not capable to do that long term because she'll feel like she's going out of place. And even if you step in as a man, she does not know how to stay in place long term because, like I said, emotions always comes in. Do you understand what I'm saying? So
I get
empowering a woman, the entire idea of empowering a woman is great. It's a great concept, but
Very
they
great.
can't help themselves when empowered. They can't help themselves when empowered.
If we say we're empowering women, it means we're agreeing that women are lesser. What are we empowering them to? From what and to what? You understand? What are we empowering women?
Okay.
From
Talking
what to
about
what?
The whole concept, that's why I had to make the distinction. The creators empowerment and the serpents Oibo, I had to make that distinction. Yeah,
Yeah.
then Mr. Lifespare really came and broke things down. Perhaps I should use pigeon. I use pigeon so that
Yeah, anyone to go.
make people out there they really understand which way Lifespare talk, because which way Lifespare be talk be good for just end this dialogue. He say car manufacturer don't make motor. They don't make motor. They put different parts in. You get brakes, you get tire, you get steering, and other parts. Now, so
Yeah.
God create man and woman. Yes,
Yeah.
they as one, then they get to function. That's division of labor. Every person get a function and role for carry out to make sure to make life be harmonious, then make that balance there. Then you imagine now say break because you dey drive often when a tire dey turn all the time, then break, woke up can talk say, hey, no, let's say a mechanic when the white man or the Oibo or the Sepan, he come in talk say, Mr. and Mrs. Break, I don't think you're important. You're not very important. The most important person is the tire, is Mr.
Yeah.
Tire. Mrs. Break, we can empower you so you can do everything. You can be the steering, you can be the tire, you can be whatever. That's the concept of women emancipation from the serpent's point of view. Now, coming back to African society, that's where the distortion came. Life on a daily, yes, your point and you're standing
I
on
think
it that it
Chef
was a
Dawe, let me just
necessity.
put this
Yes, it's a
comment.
necessity. Even the
Let me just put this comment there so we can react to it. Is this the comment you're talking about? Chef Dawe. Oh, the network is horrible. He said live on a daily. I thought he wanted to react to a comment. That's why I had to put it up. Well, let's read this comment. Live on a daily says it's not only women that abuse power, men abuse power too. I still stand on my point that women empowerment is and will always be a necessity. I believe that if a woman becomes a president, she will even do better than a man. Okay, let me take this other same as this how women have emotional intelligence. All right, I disagree with T. All right. Okay. There are more comments. This one says, "Luxury skincare. You're welcome." She says, "Women are emotionally intelligent." We're going to come to each and every one of them. Elali comes in again to say, "I'm with you, Chef. Light spell and Coach B. Finish with it. Take your flowers." All right. All right. These are different comments. Now, this is one thing which
I think my video is acting up. I don't know what's happening. Can you see me?
No, try and
yeah,
restart your link.
yeah, yeah,
Try and
yeah, yeah.
restart your link.
Okay.
I had the same issue.
You can go out and come in again.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Now, this is what I wanted to say. We talk of beauty with women. Someone said, "What was that? That's Bliss luxury skincare." She was like, "Women are emotionally intelligent." Those are two complex things. How do you put intelligent and put emotion? Like you put emotion and put intelligence. You see, let's be factual. A lot of the time, because the truth is, if we say we're empowering women, we should be able to define what we're empowering what from them. Yeah. The car, like that example of a car is very practical, which I think we can use. But I'm also trying to understand all the other points because I want to understand how it goes. If it's making sense or not. We shouldn't just accept things because some people with some funny color impose and they feel like it's what is correct.
Yeah,
And that
from
is
the
how
surface, from the
Mr.
surface,
Wickham,
from
Mr.
surface.
Wickham, I can say that the issue that is happening is
yeah,
just look at instance. This something that happens always. You can have a cube of soap in your hand and the soap
yeah,
fall on the ground. And then they ask you between the ground and the soap, who dated who? Is it the soap that became dirty or the ground that became clean? I don't know if you understand the rhetoric.
yeah. Ask the question. The network was tripping. You said between the ground and the soap. Please go again.
I was saying a cube of soap can fall on the ground, and they ask the question between the soap and the ground, did the soap become dirty or did the ground become clean?
I'm clean. Yeah, that's
You understand?
that's a brain box.
That
Yeah,
is exactly to my imagination. That is what they are trying to do with the woman. The woman has her power. She has her space. She has her own roles that they may look at it as maybe being insignificant. But
yeah,
to be sincere, I the word of God says that this is the word of God. My son, do not depart of it from the word of God, because this word is life, and it is the
yeah,
wisdom of life. I have forgotten the quotes, but if you are a Bible Christian, you imagine you immediately understand. But
yeah,
to make the point clear about the
yeah,
importance of a woman,
yeah,
I just want to read this passage in the Bible, Genesis chapter 3, verses 15. It says that, and I will put enmity between you. That is, God was talking to the serpent. I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your seeds and her seeds. He shall bruise your heads, and you shall bruise his heels. That is talking about the child of man. It's true that from biblical perspective, the many scholars have referred to it as Jesus Christ coming from Mary and going to fight with the devil. That is it. But looking at the Bible and at the Word of God and the secret that lies behind what the Word of God says, when God came after Adam has eaten the food, the apple, God gave a certain number of, I can say, laws or treaties or a new contract with both man and woman. And to the
yeah,
woman, this is part of what he was saying to the woman. from this point of view, the role of the woman is a very important role, because the woman stands as the person that is going to fight the what they call the person, the devil, the destroyer of this world, the serpent, as Chef Dawai was saying, the serpent. And it is the children of the serpent, of the woman, permit me, of the woman, that is going to breach the head of the serpent. So now the serpent immediately understood that if the word of God has to come to pass, for the humans and the creatures of God to completely subdue the earth and make use of the earth as ordained by God, it means that it is by the offsprings of the woman. So taking the woman out of her destined place makes in such that the woman's offsprings will be loose, and the woman's offsprings will not have the necessary wisdom to fight the serpent. And so the serpent is going to take the reign. So looking at it from a spiritual point of view, I think woman empowerment is just a concept that comes into place to take the woman already from her original point of power. Because it is true, I might not be in accord to say that the women are not emotionally intelligent. It is another debate on its own. But I will say this. Excuse me, let me finish, please, Wickham. I will say this. I will say that the woman is under the mission of a man. You will bear with me that if you send me to do you a service and I don't accomplish that service, I have not failed, but you have failed.
All right.
So that is just the actual point. And if a woman is under the mission that is submissive under a man, and the woman does not lead effectively the mission of a man, it means that the man's whole mission will fail. Generations have crumbled because of the power that women have. And let me just point this detail that, just came into my mind. Let me point this detail. We always talk about women empowerment, looking more to the professional aspect of it, to the fact that a man can be a mechanic, so a woman can also be a mechanic. We are talking about professional. Most people are taking it to the professional level, that a woman can do bike riding. If a man can do bike riding, a woman can also do bike riding. These are just some examples, but they fail to understand that if women should be empowered, they should be empowered to carry out the mission that they have. For instance, just an example as I cut out, in those days, women like young girls, Coach B, women in those days, when they were still tender, their mothers and their grandmothers gave them house education, how to take care of your husband.
I was waiting for us to
how to take care of your children, how to make your husband love you, because some women do not know how to make their husbands love them. And this is because the empowerment that they are preaching today is the empowerment that you should go and become a general manager of a society and ask your husband to wash your pants.
There you go.
But they fail to tell them that you can make your husband wash your pants simply by loving your husband more than any other woman will love him. And the man will wash your pants willingly and unforcefully.
Yep.
So that is
in other words, a man can do anything that you wish without you forcefully and bullying him. If you show him an out of love, he can do it comfortably.
It's not even going to happen if you force him to do it.
That's a hack. I think
if you want to run a man, no man will let you run him. So I think Lifespell said something that I really want to echo.
All right, yeah.
A
Go ahead.
woman will be very submissive under the leadership of a man. Very, very submissive. And that's where the submission really enhances, it enables the man to even be more successful. So trust me, like he said, you don't need to go to your village meeting to report your husband that he's not washing plates, he's not helping you at home. You have the magic wand in your own hands. And things that our parents used to do. I remember most of my empowerment, I had it within the ages of 0 to 14 years. I always use this as an example when I'm coaching people. I say, I had just 14 years with my mom. Just 14. I lived with my mother for 14 years. My mom died when I was 14 years old. Where did I learn how to cook? Where did I learn how to take care of the home? That's empowerment. I don't know where this sudden form of empowerment came from, that women are empowered only when they can drive a truck just like a man, if they can be mechanics like men. Trust me,
Coach B, that is unfortunate. That is what a woman empowerment is trying to say to women today.
Oh gosh. Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem.
And one funny thing is, you even see sometimes when they talk of it, I got this from the media a lot, especially when this Women Day celebration is coming. The song that is usually sung, is what a man can do, a woman can do better. You see, even the media, our local media will show women riding bikes, they will show women riding caterpillar. 1 out of 3 million women, when they see one, that's what they're going to make noise the whole place. Now,
I feel really bad that most of the women that are really educated are carrying the ones that haven't really been exposed into this mess, because I don't think what a man can do, I can do better. But I believe that if I know the vision of a man, I can make sure that vision ends being successful. Because what do I need to know? How can I support you to be successful? Because what a man needs is someone who will boost his morale. Men are those kinds of human beings who like to be validated. Hey,
that's true. That's true.
You are awesome, because they don't hear a lot of that. As women, we go out every day, someone gives us compliments. There's some men that go out every day, maybe for a week, and never come back with a compliment. But women will get a compliment every day. You look beautiful, your dress looks good on you, and all of that. But men don't hear that, and that's what they are looking for. And if you're that woman who will identify the strength of your husband, keep reminding them, hey, you did great with this. Don't you know that if you try this other thing, this is what you're going to get? That is what they are looking for. Instead of us saying that what a man can do, a woman can do. Trust me, I don't know what a man can do that I cannot do, but I don't think there are some things that it's everything that a man can do that I can do. I cannot impregnate a woman.
I can stand and pee. You will not touch my leg.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I cannot impregnate a woman. I cannot stand and pee. And even if I try that, I am going to have splashes all over my skin. And I don't want that. I'm not a man. I'm a woman. And again, I like the fact that I'm in this conversation as a woman. And again, this is the voice of women. I'm an educated woman. I've been exposed. I grew up in the village. So I know I have the experience of all those different settings. I've been in a very rural, remote area. That's where I grew up. Now I am in the city. I live in New York, and I can compare the two. I can tell you that what I learned from those remote areas is what is making me who I am today. It's what makes me appreciate who I am. It's what makes me not to be too excited when I see people living a fancy life. I'm not too excited because I have a mission. And that's what I believe that every woman is looking for. Exposure. They should be exposed to the right things so that they can copy it. But trust me, every human being chooses what to copy. And if you were unfortunate to be in a home where you were not empowered to know how to cook, again, a few years ago, they will say, if you see a beautiful girl, she will not know how to cook. The narrative is changing today. There are so many beautiful girls that can cook and can clean really good. That's empowerment. Knowing how to nurse a child. There are so many women who are dropping the ball,
Empowerment.
postpartum depression when they have a baby. But how come you grew up without knowing how to nurture or nurse a baby? That is empowerment. Our mothers are skipping their roles, focusing on other things, measuring up with men instead of empowering the young girl and empowering the young man in the house. That's what we should be doing, and that's the
Ah,
basis of
women
empowerment.
empowerment.
Empowerment is not the four walls of a classroom. Empowerment is not limited to the four walls of the university. That's not where it's limited because, again, trust me, you see so many people who
Further.
have gone and they have PhDs and they still are not well empowered. They don't have great communication skills. They cannot hold a conversation with someone. They do not even have the emotional intelligence to understand someone else's situation and even empathize with them better.
Yeah.
So, education and empowerment are two different things. And you can
Yeah.
empower someone. Growing up, I saw my mom do petty business and all of that. And trust me, Wicom prepared one of my flyers. I'm here in New York. I have a job. I have two 8 to 5 jobs, but I still cook. I cook, I cook all
Atu,
those local meals and people
Yeah.
eat. So that's because my grandmother empowered me. I didn't learn it from a school. I didn't learn it from a class. I
And
was empowered by my grandmother.
learning from your grandmother is education, right?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
education. It's
now,
empowering me.
And
Sorry.
Coach B, you said something. You said something about education, talking about education and empowerment. That just brought me to something that women always suffers. I want us to talk about this, even a few minutes. Is a problem women go through violence,
bro,
domestic violence.
yeah, you can hit it sharp to the point. So let's write
Women,
because I have a line of
wo-
questions you can write on.
yeah, women suffer a lot of domestic violence, and after a lot of psychological counseling, talking with women on this issue, I realized something that a woman who is being violated by her husband,
Yeah.
being a violent man or a non-violent man, is just because of the education she has. So I think talking about the education you're talking,
No man is a beast.
personality build up is part of education that women need to take that as an agenda into women empowerment. Because if you are empowered as a woman, believe me, a man cannot raise his hand on you. A man will
For
not be
sure.
able to hit you. And
Rather,
if,
you're the one who can bring him down because
yeah,
you're powerful.
uh, Coach Chef Dawai, not even bringing him down, but a man will not be able, because where will he stand? Because he will say, this woman who is doing this, who is so this
Thank you.
nice to, how will I be able to do
To
this to
even
her? And
face.
yes, and permit me to say this, a woman who has been well educated, who has her or what is this, who has her values and her charisma up to her, will not accept a man hitting on her, because if the man is too violent to a fault, the woman will know that I have my personality and I am leaving this house today and never to come back. She will not stay there and wait for the day that they are going to kill her for people to come and advocate on her on her departure and start feeling pity for the children she left behind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
This
that
is
is
our
part of
next topic. Trust me.
women education.
This is our
No,
next topic.
thank you.
Self-worth. Because if a woman
Let me
understands
write
her
it
worth,
down.
they're definitely not going to take that from anybody. And
Yeah.
it's communicated without even raising a finger, without even saying a word. You just know that. And you walk away when things get that bad. Because again, we know there are people who are mentally ill and they will do these things even without understanding why they're doing it. If you're in that situation, you can help that person get the help that they need. And the only way you can do that is talking about it. I've been
Wow.
in conversations with women within our community who have been abused severally, not once, not twice. Women in their 30s, and they don't talk about it. I'm asking you the question: how do you help the other woman coming after you? How do you help even the offsprings of this man? He's an abuser, so he can abuse anybody.
Now,
And there are women also who do that. So talk about it, because this person might just need that one boost and they will get the kind of help that they need. But if we
For
sit on
sure.
it, how are we helping them? That's because we don't even know our worth. We don't know
thank you.
who we are.
Because I think that we should go to the foundation of knowing our worth and being empowered to have those beautiful values rather than have challenging values. Now, I interacted with a lady. This lady, she's married. When I interacted, I interacted with her when I met her for the first time. The way I interacted, she's Nigerian. She came to Cameroon. The way I interacted with her, after some time I interacted with her, we did some projects together. I was actually running a project back then, and I had a lot of pressure on me. So one time I had to respond to her. I transferred the aggression and I spoke somehow. A typical African woman will give me the shit. They will give me what I need to know and maybe decide not to want to work again or maybe come apologize afterwards. The way this lady absorbed it, I was like, sir, you're not okay. It communicated deep into my spirit, and immediately I came back to myself. This gave me a notion that sometimes you can actually communicate to whatever kind of beast, no matter how hurtful, violent, or whatever a man is. Your empowerment can bring him into his senses
Reasoning.
and into reasoning. And when Chef Dawei says something like no man is a beast, I think if we empower women in the right direction, they will definitely cage the beast in every man and
Yep.
bring out the angel in them. My encounter with this lady made me understand that there are some ladies that no man will ever raise his hand on because of the way they are. See, when you come from a total standpoint of challenge, that is where you get the repulsive reaction of some men. In recent times, now I want us to throw a little bit light on the ancient. I think before Coach B. I don't know if Coach B has some time with us still, but
Yeah, I'll have to run. I'm also struggling with this headache.
all right, I get.
Yeah, but I'll have
We
to.
wish you quick healing because I want us to do a contrasting thing, looking at the family of old and the family of recent times. It is no news that each time we are talking about topics like women empowerment, the reference which most people use are usually from the direction of wa papa de be so, wa papa de be so, Bernardo one and they so. That papa de be so is not even about the men, it's usually about the women.
Yeah.
Well, mommy, they do so. They were doing this, they were doing that, they were doing this, they were doing that. And sometimes, even including myself, some of us fell victim of this thing where we see a particular nice character trait of some of our mothers, the way they ran the house, the way this is what some mothers did there. Sometimes when the men never really had when they had challenges in the house, some mothers will cover up the husband and nobody will even know.
Right.
But in most cases in this our century, in this our era, when the man is having difficulties, it becomes a topic of disrespect even to the children, starting from the way the woman talk to. So those are some of the contrasting things. I want us to actually look at the difference. Could we say the pattern of the old was a good pattern, or do we say this modernized pattern is actually better off? Because one school of thought argues that the old pattern, the women suffered a lot, the women endured a lot, they were not happy, they were just enduring. But on my own perspective, the few mothers I saw that actually stayed in marriage, I don't think they were actually enduring. It's just that their reasoning, their mindset was geared towards a particular direction, which is not as the same as the ones for today. Now, can we confidently say the old system was the right pattern for family life and living togetherness, or the new pattern should be the ideal pattern that we would encourage even our younger ones to follow? Coach B, can you drop on this before you sign out?
I think what I'll highlight is adaptability. Every civilization is something that is not going to end. So what happened 18 or 20 or 2 decades or 2 centuries back is definitely going to be different from what is happening now. The most important thing is, how do you look back and be able to pick up those trends? What are those things that work well for people in that generation, and bring it forward to support you in the way you adapt in this generation? Because I cannot say the amount of exposure that our grandfathers had so many years back is not the same exposure that we have today. Things have changed. People they see things globally nowadays. It's not limited to what used to happen in Mancon. It's limited to Mancon. What used to happen in Bali, limited to Bali. Now the world is global. My only thing will be, how do we adapt now that things are going helter skelter? I'm thinking that if I am working now because I need to support my husband because school fees is very expensive, then I should be able to communicate with my partner and say, hey, I am working 8 to 5. You are working 5 to 11 at maybe 11 midnight. Then this is how we're going to organize ourselves to be able to pay the bills, to be able to take care of the kids' school fees, because things are difficult now. Food is more expensive than it used to be. Farming is not that easy because it's very dangerous out there. So things are changing. So I think the only thing to do is to adapt to those changes. Look back, pick those things of the old that were good, that were beneficial. For example, I would like to always serve. If as a woman, it's very important. I don't care what office you come out from. Serve your husband's food. When he comes back from work, serve his food, and in a very nice way. You don't come and dump food with an attitude. I don't care if you're the vice president of the United States or you're the president of the United States, you need to serve your husband. That's the culture that happened years back. Now I know that men are being told to go to the kitchen and serve themselves, even when the woman is sitting doing nothing. So I
Yeah.
will take that value because I know how that is another way of showing allegiance to the man you call leader. So that's what I will encourage. That's what I'll pick from the old and bring to the new and adjust it and make the life a better one for myself. Not just picking things randomly and doing things because others are doing it. What
Thank
works
you.
for you? What is going to make your home to be happy and successful? Do it. Again, if my partner can help me iron my clothes in the morning, what are the kind words that I will tell him? We're encouraging our kids to say please and thank you. How can you tell your husband to do chores for you? There are ways you can do that. So adaptability is the key. What is it that you can pick from there and adapt to your future right now? Because trust me, things are going to keep changing. And we
Thank you
don't
so much, Coach B.
Thank you, Coach B. Thank you.
I think that was straight to the point. That was straight to the point. Thank you so
lovely
much.
topic. I think I would like us to talk about life spell did hint something, and I feel like we should plan to talk about it.
Yeah, please just let me know. We could always plan to talk about this. The essence of this is we have continuity from the topics. It's going to be so golden. We
Right.
have a whole lot of people following. Yeah. And I want to just take this comment before we ride on. This is coming from Divine Studio. You're very much welcome. It says dignity and respect and strength. And respect strengthen the home front front anytime, any day. Okay, sorry, the home front any time. All right. Those are some key values and virtues which we could have in a home. Now, at this point in time,
No,
Guys, thank
okay.
you.
Let me drop on the question you posed.
yeah, chef
The
that way,
old
chef
or
that
the
way,
new.
yeah, chef that way, please. Yeah, right on, please. Oh, chef wanted to just talk, and the connection just did what? Yeah. All right. See,
Anyway,
this thing. Yeah,
wait,
yeah, yeah.
wait
Let's.
on.
I think you can write on. Yeah,
Let me just say something before Chef Dawai comes back on the
yeah.
points of this women education and empowerment again. I want to say something. You see, women empowerment supposed to be this part where they tell women their real rights. They encourage them on knowing how to do what they do best and do it in their very best.
Yeah.
And I think that our society is gradually failing because the serpent, as we are quoting, the serpent is using his cat and his trick to trick us into failing. Because I would like to say that a coach, you are supposedly to be a coach, but you haven't received a proper coaching training experience to be able to
Yeah.
train your team.
Yeah,
You are not
that's
going
a
to
coach
you,
for a team. Yeah.
yeah, you are not going to be able to coach your children. And today in our society, we find parents that were not coached by their parents and having kids that they are not able to coach, and their kids are being coached by the society. And that is where we'll just accept everything from the society as gender value and every ideas that are coming to run behind them.
Yeah.
Because
Because yeah,
we
right
need
on.
to we need to understand that the woman has a point and a place in this in empowerment. For instance, there's something I will just share a personal experience that I had while working. I was working in one council in Yaoundé, and it
Yeah.
happens that I was at the records room and I was going through the registry. It was a Friday, and I was going through registries. I was going through registries that came from court and all the rest. And I discovered something striking. And Chef Dawai, I enjoy the fact that you're back. Why I'm saying this, because
Yeah.
uh, I know it is something that you have at heart. There's something I realized in that room. The thing I realized is that in a registry of thousands of names of couples that wedded, Mr. Wickham, I was shocked to read about 5 pages. I was going through 5 pages of names, and I couldn't find in the pages I ran. I couldn't find any Muslim name.
You couldn't
That's
find any.
any Muslim name that went through divorce process,
Yeah.
that was registered for divorce. There were only Christian names. Christian. I couldn't see any uh, uh, Ismail, Aishatu, or any of these Muslim culture, these Arab names. I could not
Yeah.
look, at least in the pages I went. I went through more than 5 pages. I was going through and I couldn't see, and I was shocked.
Yeah.
I was shocked. Why? Because we are galvanizing everywhere as Christians that we have the grace of God, we have the love of God, but we as Christians have faith in women empowerment. We have accepted women empowerment from the world and refuse to do women empowerment from our values, because Coach B before leaving said something about values, about
Yeah.
taking from the past. If you
Yeah.
look at royal families, if you have been to a country that they have a king and not a president, you will see
Yeah.
that the king families have a certain sort of morality that and values that they preserve through globalization and modernity. And those
Yeah.
values stand still no matter the level of of civilization. And these are just the values that today, as Christians, as a society, we have failed to maintain those values and have accepted values elsewhere. Because
Yeah.
if you go back into a Muslim household, I am not trying to compare religions, but I am trying to copy to make a remark.
Yeah.
If you
Right
get
on.
back into a Muslim family, you will see that young girls at the age of 7, 8, when they are already aware of things, they go into, they have this school they do in at the at the at their churches. The name just keeps me, at their mosques,
Yeah.
where they will train the ladies, they will train the young girls what they have to do, how they have to behave in front of men, how they have to do in their family homes, how they have to
Yeah.
respect mothers. They also train them how to respect elderly mothers. They
Yeah.
train them how to take care of kids. They train them how to train their wives, their husbands, second wives. Chef Dawai, you talked, we had, and you talked about polygamy. Second, they
Yeah.
train them how to take the second wife and teach her what the husband loves, how to do things with the husband, and all of those sorts of education. And
Yeah.
believe me, the rates of conjugal violence that you see today, it is hardly difficult that a Muslim woman was reported beaten by her husband.
Yeah.
It is, you will hardly find one that a
Yeah.
Muslim, you will hardly find a Muslim wife being divorced or divorced from her husband.
Yeah, I was told a Muslim a Muslim worked for me one time, and when I was talking with her, she told me that in their culture even they have this special family ethics and family ties that they have. If it's a polygamous home, if it's a monogamous home, they have a way they do it. She even told me that even those that are in polygamous are even stronger. There's a way, she says, when the man comes back from work, the woman is going to prepare water, massage his leg. There's a special kind of treatment that the man receives, and this kind of treatment even provokes the man to love the woman more. You understand? She explained me their culture, and I was like, huh? Who's are your uncles and they be data, they be do auditing them? Because you look
Islam.
at the culture,
Islam.
it's so
Islam do
loving.
not. Islam do not concentrate on destroying our culture that much. Christianity did. Islam, do what you can do from your village or from your hut, but come to the mosques and respect the laws there. But
No,
Christianity went right into the shrines. They had to cut sacred trees and things like that. They had to make everything that used to be sacred. They had to render them useless. So on that point, the if is the old or the new. I would like to say nothing is new under the sun.
For sure.
Nothing,
yeah,
nothing is new under the sun. Whatever we are actually going through in this era is something that has happened before. We've actually had four floods, but the Bible made mention of just one, the flood of water. We
yeah,
had the flood of the sun, which created the Saharan desert. We had the flood of water that ended an era, the era of Noah. And we also have the flood of ice that created the Antarctica, yeah, to bury and cover these Nephilims and other fallen angels. So whatever time we find ourselves, like right now, we call this era the Gen Z, like the end. We are at the end of this era, and the father always, he has a way to resetting the time. He has a way to reset time, and this period, even if you go on Google, you type the Great Reset. The recent economic forum that they had, the theme was the Great Reset. They know the times and they know the seasons. What
yeah,
a lot of us, we are just ignorant. Like I would like to say Africans, and that's why our Creator said, "My people perish for lack of knowledge. We perish
yeah,
because we lack knowledge." So
yeah,
we are getting back to the old. Given the great reset, we are getting back to the old. What they call civilization. Civilization is actually that car that takes society from point A to point Z, or modernity. Modernity is that vehicle that drives the society from point A Generation A.
Oh la la. He's saying
Network,
some
network.
facts. He's saying some interesting facts, but
Civilization.
the
Yeah, can you hear me
fire
now?
on, fire on, fire
Civilization
on.
has done.
Away.
Yeah, civilization has played its role in taking us to point Z, and right now, nature and the creator, they're playing their role in taking us back to point one, which is the old. That's to say, this generation we are learning because a lot of us we are learning, and we have to go back to point A, where it all began. And where it all began is you come back to the wiseness and the natural lifestyle of our ancestors. That's where it's going. We are not taking anything that is good in Generation Z. Generation Z is all bad. Everything about it is actually superficial. It's superficial. If you look at things from the surface level, they look good. That's why I said there is a way that seemeth right unto man, but the end
And
thereof the end thereof is destruction. That's civilization. That's modernity. Yeah. The end thereof is always destruction. We're already at that point where they are flexing muscles with nuclear and atomic weapons, and they are already fighting Africans. Africans, Africans, social media platforms like TikTok, they are actually weapons designed specifically to fight against Africans. They're being run by carefully selected algorithms that will curate just the stupidity and foolishness of Africa and promote
yeah,
whichever thing about Africa that makes sense, the algorithm will not promote. You will see like
yeah.
the Tengen, Rambo, and people like Auntie Felicia. Anything that will keep Africans in that mental slavery, that's what they'll promote. That's
And
actually
any
the weapon
motivate.
against Africans. And then with the monetization of social platforms, they're getting Africans stuck in the metaverse. They know Africans are actually natural people Africans were made from earth. Yeah, what we call death, what they would like to call death. That's why you fight good things come from death. Even diamonds, they come from death. And the father, the father was super wise and intelligent to get us out from that death. White man will call ground, say death, right? But in that death, there's a lot. So we are actually returning from point Z to point A. That's the great reset. And now for them, this great reset means different things for us, and it means different things for them. For them, they want to create order out of chaos. They want to reduce world population to 500 million people. It means they have to do super elimination of those they consider useless eaters, and they'll mostly be targeting Africans, and that's because Africa is waking up, and they know if Africans do wake up without the resources like the milk and honey flowing in abundance in this promised land known as Africa, there'll be no Europe. So they have to keep Africans in that perpetual state of mental slavery. So these days, the message is go to TikTok. This message is not only for our queens, though mostly our queens, they always do, their own way to do it. They'll do it excess. Yeah, they always do it excess. Just go, you dance in front of cameras, you shake your boobs, you show your nyash, you get a lot of people following and gifting you, and you become rich overnight, and the only thing you have is money. The transition we are to make as Africans is to make that transition from riches to wealth. Yeah, we should make the transition from riches to wealth. We have to become wealthy. We don't have to be rich, because if you want to be rich today, there's abundance of money out there.
Wow. Chef there was saying a whole lot. But this network keeps.
By putting the money on the ground, putting the money in the promised land. That's how you become wealthy. You do so through agriculture, you do so through animal husbandry and everything. So they know Africa is being restored and we're getting back to point A. And they'll keep fighting, And we're currently at that point where they tell us, do as thou please. Do as thou please. Like, just leave any person to do how they like. If demand you, like my message to Auntie Felicia, they say, okay, you do a cross-dressing comedy. She's making her money, living,
He
making
or
it do. That's the message. The new. No, I'm talking Auntie Felicia. Auntie Felicia is a she. That's the alter ego of Quo Elonge. Elonge is the male, the masculine figure. Why Auntie Felicia is a she.
is a she.
Yeah, the
Wow.
alter ego. That's the person. Yeah. So in that case, right? In that case, you tell people to do as they will, but back then in the old, it never used to be like that. You do as the community, as the family dictates. You're there to live for the family. You're there to fulfill the purpose of the family. So these
Yeah.
devils, they came and they taught us me's. They taught us a lot of me's. What do I
Yeah.
mean by me's? Personal pronoun. Me, my money, my career, my this, my that, my dad, my family. Even for level, you born picking with a woman, the woman will still consider the picking say na ya picking. I don't born you picking like she has done something no one else has ever done. Because of the maze, a lot of maze. So we tend to think about just us. We don't think about the community as a whole. That's not the way it used to be in time past. The true spirit of Africa is the spirit of Ubuntu. Ubuntu says, "I am because you are, and you are because I am." If we all can interpret this Ubuntu, Mazimano did interpreted it as a buying demand, then he came up with Chemti. Chemti in simple term means togetherness. Togetherness. So if we are talking about people coming together, it's no longer about me, it's no longer about you, but about us. So we should come off that new age gospel of do as
Yeah.
thou please. No, we
Yeah.
should do as as the community or as a people, because we are a people. They come, they tell you salvation is personal. That's the bedrock. That's the bedrock of divide and rule, and that's the
Yeah.
message Jesus Christ came with. To accept Him as your personal Lord and Savior. But now the message that is coming from our Creator and Bantu Father is, if my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn away from their wicked ways, I will hear from heaven, I will forgive their sins, and I will heal their land. It's not about you, it's not about me, it's about a people. And who that people, who are they? Who are they? You and I, the Bantus, the Tikas, we are the chosen people, and we find ourselves in the promised land. And as we return back to point A, because point A is that point which is always good, is that point that has everything. Yes, we're going back with that notion that we are the chosen people. We're going back with that notion that we are the people of
Oh, the network wouldn't let
Yeah.
Chef David land,
If boreholes have been dug between your legs, now is the time for you to start closing them by practicing secondary virginity. You abstain from sex, you keep yourself clean, and you get to truly understand who you are. If you are not part of the natural women group we are running on WhatsApp, um, because we actually teaching our queens the old ways, the things that used to happen at point A before we got to point Z, the Gen Z generation, where queens have become baddies, where
now, Chef,
Network
he, yeah,
is
he can't emphasize on this enough, and it's a particular message for Africans. Ubuntu, I am because you are. We mustn't accept everything because it is rampantly done or globally done. We must actually look at every scheme and read within the line to understand the propaganda behind every activity. Today, we see a lot of rampant things from indecent dressing to loss of moral values. You will see people, we are beginning to lose that love for humanity and that love for one another. We are losing a whole lot of several character traits because we call one thing modernity. Whereas, if we have to go by the norms, if we have to go by the ethics and the original standpoint of why we are Ubuntu, you will understand that we can actually do better than what we are doing today. That's a whole message which I think we could take home and actually elaborate in subsequent edition. I think we've been talking for over 2 hours now, and I think at this point, I don't know, Lifespare, you might give us your final words so we can actually round up and have some rest as well. I know there are people, this is a very technical and interesting topic, and there are people actually following up to now. But at a certain point, we have to digest what has been spoken already and then give room for us to talk about more things subsequently. Nice, but I don't know, you have any concluding things to talk about before we pack our bags out of the studio?
yeah. Uh, Talking about women empowerment.
Yeah,
Uh, I would like to say that we are not against women empowerment, but we are trying to sensitize people to mostly women to understand the right empowerment they should seek, and
yeah,
not the the riot, if I can put it in that sense, because
the challenge. Hmm.
the challenge, if I can put it in that sense, because one thing we don't understand is that women empowerment create competition, a lot of competition amongst women themselves, and there's this certain overemphasis on professional success that is making women are neglecting their domestic and caregiving roles, because
Yeah,
we need to understand that a woman is the core of the family. And when we talk of family, we are talking about a very small cell of a society.
yeah,
So if we damage a small cell of the society, we are damaging the family. So the woman should understand that she is the one that dictates how the society goes. So she should be emphasized and empowered about that. And also, when we are talking about women empowerment, the way the society is bringing it up today, we are ignoring what they call intersectional issues. That is, we are ignoring things that are leaving behind marginalized women, because we need to bear the fact that not every woman are smart. Smart
yeah,
socially, estimates due to the background. You cannot imagine that there are so many of us who have never been to the extreme north of Cameroon. We just hear
Yeah.
about it. You know, there are ladies there at 16 years, they don't go to school. They don't go
Wow.
to school. They don't have the same cultural aspects that we have in the southern, southwest, and the littoral parts of Cameroon. Is totally different there. So when we overemphasize about women empowerment, we forget behind these other ladies, and it creates a certain sort of marginalization. And now I would like to say that women empowerment is creating a sort of unrealistic expectation from women, that some women end up having mental health and mental burnout because they are trying to keep up to a standard where they don't have the capacity, the natural capacity. We are not, when I talk about natural capacity, permit me to say that I am not talking about force, because there are some women that have force, chef that way, that they
Yeah.
can hold you on your hand like that, and you say, chef that one will say, mama, I beg, left me. Mommy, I
Oh
beg,
God.
left me. I know there are some women who have that strength, but that is not the type of strength we are talking about when we want to talk about the power in a man. So there is this unrealistic expectation that we should be realistic. A woman cannot have a man's heart. So a woman cannot, even if the woman is the head bearer of the family, that is financially, or maybe whatsoever uh, aspect of the society, she cannot have the strength a man has. So to a certain point, I think woman empowerment, we should concentrate on empowering the woman, on the power she has as a woman, and how she can use that power to change the society and the world in a whole, for the good of all. So that is what I can say.
Wow. Thank you so much for
Yeah,
that expert.
yeah,
Thank
yeah.
God. Chef Dawa is here. Let me just go say, in places that are fighting war now, what what happened to all the women who are competing with men? That's a wonderful question. All right, Chef Dawa.
Yes.
Chef Dawa, I think you can land because we're running. Good enough you are here, and I think your connection is stable now. I think you can now round
Yeah,
up so
so
that
it's about us getting back to the old point, and our queens that's why we started by creating a WhatsApp group where we
yeah,
have queens. I think we have 70 of them right now.
yeah,
It will take time, gradually reworking on their mentality and
yeah,
everything, because a lot of them, they are vulnerable. They've gone through a lot of heartbreaks and stuff like that. And right now, most of them, they are on their knees praying for husband, like good men. These are things that never used to happen before. You only had to be raised by a good family, because the
yeah.
family was all that mattered. The name of it, the family name. Take note of this keyword, family name. For the name, that name was more important than money. Yes. So
Yeah.
you go to you even come to marry from a family. If their daughter is bad, they'll tell you no. We don't want to give you. We don't want to give you disgrace. Yeah, we don't
Yes.
want. No, they'll refuse.
Because it's their reputation.
Yes, the family name was more important. Where girl will go to her husband's house, she'll do all to uphold that name by
Yeah.
being respectful, doing everything she had to do. Yeah, being a good queen, a good wife, and everything. Yeah, so they came with women empowerment and stuff. They changed everything. So we're telling our queens that before, as a wife or a mother, you had your farms. You still had your farm. You go to your farm. It depends on your strength, the quantity of food you can plant. You get what is able to feed your family, and the rest of it is taken to the market for sales. That's you being a driving force behind the behind economic growth. And you come back to your house, whatever resources your man has been able, maybe a bushmeat, he went today, he came back with 5 rat more. Now, as a manager that you are, you will not just go and prepare all the 5. You prepare one for that day, and you put the other 4 for banda. You dry them. That's you being both a manager and an accountant at the same time. You're actually saving for the rainy days. So when they came with career did not only distort or change the life pattern of an African queen, it also did for the kings, because the family was, like I said, family was all that mattered. Like you grow. If your father was a farmer, you learn farming from him. Like the impersonator Jesus, because the real name has to be Sindisi. He learned
Yeah.
carpentry from his father. He learned carpentry from his father, and that's an African way of life. Okay, I'll give an example. Like he put his hand in mud, he mixed it with saliva, and he put it at some point in the eyes of a blind man, and the person could see. That's something Africans do. That's not something that can be scientifically explained. We know the West, we know the Oyibo people, they always want to back everything with science and stuff. But Africa, we go with nature. We go with what has been established by nature. So they came with career, a young man who learned from his dad, and by the time he's getting to 18, he's already independent, having his own big bands of yam, having his farms, having his substance. He will be there chasing career, and he'll get to 30 without still attaining independence. And
Yeah.
and, and he'll work his whole life only to come and get a woman he knows nothing about, to go and start a family. And both of them are out there chasing for one thing, and that's money. That's money. And at the
Yeah.
end of the day, why do we go for all this career? We go for careers because we want to pay school fees for our children. We want to buy human hair at the end of the day. We want to go to the salon to put eyelashes. We want to put synthetic nails. We want to eat. But now in at point A, all of those things were taken care of. As a woman, you transfer information, biological information, through your umbilical cord to your child. And now the next process, especially the girl children, they will sit in between your laps, what we call in pidgin zolo. They will sit there, you'll be braiding or plaiting their hair, and you'll be telling them oral history. That's that's the core of the African child's training that has been
Yeah.
replaced with the gossips that comes from salon. You see a mom, she will just take a small innocent girl to a salon where Ajajana boss them, or slay queens, or lost, all these titles that they go by these days. You take your innocent girl child to go and do her hair there. And we know from kids, when they come into this world, they come with a blank mind. Their mind is as white as an A4 sheet of paper. Yeah, their mind is as that blank. Now, what they hear, what they see, what they listen to becomes a sum total of who they'll become tomorrow. So we have our kids learning from the salon. They learn from very useless
Yeah.
teachers who have not been able to figure anything about life or themselves.
No
So
ethics.
everything about westernization looking from the surface level will seem good. But take away the resource that is coming, all the resources that is coming from Africa, then you realize no woman in Europe has been empowered. Then you realize Europe is nothing. And the only way they can stand and enjoy, they build those good houses, they build those cars, the bridges, the planes and stuff, is because they distorted Africa and now they have free access to the mineral pie, all the pie stock of minerals from the promised land. They steal them, they take and develop their society. And now, when our women they look at those Western women, they say, wow, those women are free, want to be like them. Take away the resources that are coming from Africa, then you realize that these people, they never truly left the cave that they came from. They are still the Caucasians that they are. So, African woman, you have a great role to play. Take back your crown, and your crown is your natural hair. Grow your own hair, take good care of it, and be yourself. It's also your antenna. It's your
Wow.
antenna. Have you ever been around evil spirit and you feel reaction from your hair? How you yes? Then imagine you don't have your own antenna. You're completely disconnected, and you are connected with antennas coming from a different species, a different race of people. Because I don't consider them humans. They are not humans. They are the reptilians, they are the draconians, they are the Neanderthals. Neanderthals, yes. We are humans, and green plants have chlorophyll, that's their solar panel attracting solar energy, and humans have melanin as their solar panel for solar energy. Whatsoever is here for albino that comes from us, that's a defect. Yeah, it's a defect. And in those days, they used to sacrifice them, they used to see them as taboo. And that's also one bad aspect of us back then. Yeah, we used to discriminate against some a defect that came out of us. But um, um, talking this Oyibo, their own is not defect. They have, if you want to check their DNA, it will not be as unique as us because Africans, yes, we've interbred with them. So we have a little, we have a bit of their DNA mixed with us. If you want to check, but what will be predominant about our DNA will be the E1B1A1 DNA and the E1B1. That's for Japhet and Shem. That's Tika and Bantu, Japhet and Shem. So what will work for them will never work for us. And they can never live, they cannot live without distorting Africa.
Wow. That was a whole lesson on its own. Just put a little balance it
They
up.
created pharmaceutical companies, they created all of these things, and now the money they are making by selling you solution, they are selling you solution to things your ancestors avoided naturally just by
Wow.
natural. That's point A. That's point
Yeah.
A. So Gen Z, no queen should call herself Gen Z body. No queen should call herself a slave queen. Because when you want to be a slave, be slave. You have to be slave.
Without a queen.
And they slay you in guest houses, they slay you in hotels and places like that. So take note, and all that slaying like that comes with a lot because your story hole will be expanded, and you'll be one of these mommies and aunties out there who'll be working and demanding for big bola and stuff like that because the wares that they've dug between their legs cannot contain that which God created. They'll start going now for end to the level Oibo or snake or Neanderthal can carry the African woman. So empower yourself with the right knowledge. Go back, visit the handbook of your grandmothers. Visit them. They used to be super happy. They live much more longer lives than you. They did not have STDs. They did not
They were happy,
abort.
yeah,
They did
they were
not do
happy.
all these whatnot you're doing today. And they were super empowered, even more than you. They could do a lot. Imagine the chemistry, the science, the art you involved to form a true that soup, the chemical.
Telling you, and I just said that today.
The chemistry they did in the
I
lab.
said, my discovered that Aju need award. Hungry
How
Aju do
many
me
of you have
today.
only create one recipe for chop? One
Actually,
recipe, like
Soup where you don't need fire for say me done.
nothing. We continue with what these people when they say they need to be empowered. They created. You're eating Achu, you're eating arrow, you're eating kati.
Seriously.
Which of them can you do with all your level of education? Your
Intelligence
level of education can only your level of education can only take you to a shop to go and buy bleaching cream to destroy illiteracy. Is that not stupidity? Is that not crime against humanity? Your level of education can only take you to that point where you cannot. Then you start buying hair from India and putting on. Is that not what can you term that? Is that empowerment? How have you been empowered to become a borehole? To become a slave queen? Is that empowerment? I really needed to be harsh at the end of this so our queens get this and it sink in their head. You have a role to play. You are the mother of a fair.
This network need to respect itself.
I'm telling you.
Especially when it comes to a point like this.
Actually,
Yes.
Chef Dawai is saying something that
This is a
just made
crucial
me
point.
to
This is the actual crucial point here.
just made me to remember something that happened back then in my distant family. We had
Yeah.
one family member who died of
When you hear
Jansang.
me, when you hear me,
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
we
hear you.
yes,
Who died of Jansang?
yes.
Bleaching.
So
Bleaching. We
education we will learn from mixed oil. You learn from
yeah
mixed oil. You see person
for
who do
for mixed
biochemistry.
mixed oil
You go mix oil to
poison.
destroy your own nature. You move. Do you know what is melanin? Do you know melanin?
Melanin
Something.
popping.
So Chef Dawai, I was getting on your point and saying that this person had to die not because
No,
immediately because of Jansang, but because
you're
the person
welcome. It's one
overbleached
big family. Yeah,
the
this is
person
one
overbleached
big
herself.
family. We need you to join the natural women group. Yes.
The woman overbleached herself to the extent that she had appendicitis and she had to be operated. But
Wow.
what happened is that when they operated her of the appendicitis, actually they had to cure her of it. But now the part that was not able to be cured was her skin. They couldn't stitch her skin. The stitches were not able
They
to
could not
hold.
hold.
So that is how they tried to do some body grafts on parts, and finally she ended up having a lot of wounds around her body that couldn't either not close as well. So that is how you can imagine the end. So
This
that
this
is
is this
we
is
are using our own money to buy poison, and we are
yeah.
buying the poison because they are teaching us that the poison is actually good for us.
I will buy the poison with pride.
With
What pride
pride.
will you take in doing such? Me, I like
Destroy
my
all your
color. Like
melanin.
it's
For the
horrible to
next,
actually.
my next plan of action is to be very aggressive on all these women where they don't bleach. I'll be very super aggressive.
All right.
Ambassadors.
All right. Thank you all so much. I want to say at this point, we will have all the time to digest everything that was said here today. A lot has been said today, and I'm going to leave the video on this platform. And you go through, those of you who came in late, you can go through, because today's edition, I must confess, it was rich. And you can actually watch the video over and over and over. This is not just an entertaining stuff. It's about it's about information and enlightenment. It's about a time where we tell ourselves some bitter truth that is going to help us and make us become better. So at this point in time, I just want to say,
this luxury skincare, you need to join the Natural Woman group.
Awesome.
Welcome to you and add you into that group.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Sure. Okay. Now, at this point, I just think we can pack our bags out of the studio. I don't know, Chef, do you have any final words to say?
Yeah, I don't talk at all now. Wait today again for talk for this very episode. So,
all right, we had last spell already. Okay, see you all next week, and stay tuned to more updates on our platforms, on all the platforms here. We have last spell, we have Chef that way, we have Weekend platform.
Yeah, we'll be doing this. We'll do from next week. We'll go TikTok live as well.
Yeah,
that TikTok So while we're using one device for Facebook, then we use the other device for TikTok.
Yes.
We create a community. We'll call that community Bantu Rising. Yeah, or we can use Bantu Rising House. Bantu Rising House will be the community we create on TikTok, because why we are knocking, we are against these digital platforms. We know their agenda. So let's make that digital money as well. But we are making the digital money to put in the universe. We put in the universe by buying more land, by raising animals, by involving in agriculture, by investing in real estate. We should not be stuck, and we will not be stuck in the metaverse. We will not be stuck in metaverse. Yeah, the created metaverse to transform us into meta humans. But our creator created the universe for us, and we have our energy source in the universe, which is the sun. And we should take note, the melanin is that panel, that solar panel that traps that energy. So we all develop those monetization. We make a lot of money, put them down. We build the communities together with our brothers and sisters. It's all about that. It's all about that true African spirit of Ubuntu. I am because you are, and you are because I am. Okay, my people, let's go. Let's go.
Good night, people. I was glad having you all. Good night, family. Good night, and see you all next week.
Good night. Good night.